Well, I always grew up in church. I always grew up with my grandfather and my father pushing our families into church. I guess I was probably about 22, 23 when I really started getting deep into it to where I didn't want to, God wasn't even a part of my life anymore. And it got to the point where I was getting out of control. Couldn't really, didn't know how to stop, didn't know how to quit. Wasn't really trying to quit. I was starting to realize that, and I was looking for a place to go to. My aunt and uncle had told me about this place. They live in Georgia, and a better way had moved them from Stockbridge, I don't know, probably 10 years before I came up here. She's like, there's a program up here. Maybe you should look into it. So I told her I would. I got online. I looked at it. I looked it over. I really put some thought into it, and I said, I'm ready. I'm ready for a change. A week later, they dropped me off at a better way. First day for me was very difficult. Everything was just completely purple. I realized then that it was almost like military style. Everything was the same. It was regimented, which is something that I needed, which is something that structurally I needed in my life to really get me on that track, but I wasn't ready for it yet. It was an eye-opener. It was something to take in all at once. The brotherhood at first, the camaraderie that we have at a better way is something that you learn is a real thing. Each person has a different story with the same path. It's something that we're all traveling down a road. One may go a little bit left, one may go a little bit right, but when it's all drugged down to it, we're all here for the same reason, and you realize that, and everybody comes together and tries to support one another a lot, and it's a great support system that's here. Florida trip was good. The guys that I went with were a lot of the brothers that I kind of hung with through the whole program, so we had a really good group that went down together. We get up and we do our devotion. Everybody wanted to be there. Everybody was ready and pumped for it. You weren't dragging along or anything like that. Everybody's like, all right, man, let's go down to the beach. Let's have our first little devotion. And we get out in the morning. We kind of took care of our stuff in the morning, ate breakfast, did our thing. We went to go get baptized. Water was cold, it was cloudy, but none of that really seemed to matter. For me, it was kind of a different experience because a lot of people get baptized when they're young, and then they get rebaptized and they say, they had a different experience with their second one. But for me, it was my first one, and it meant a lot. I really took it to heart. The more the Lord does in my life, the more the people around me are benefiting from the same thing. And it's really an awesome thing to know that not just touching my life, but without anything else, just me doing better, me talking, and me being the person that I know that I am and was, is reconstructing something that's been broken for a long time. One of the biggest things that I'm going to take away from A Better Way is an understanding of the true meaning of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. The devotion is the biggest thing it's the biggest change that I've put into my life, and I make sure that it's something that I keep in my life every day. That's where the turning point was for me, is understanding and getting a true meaning of the New Testament. And that's what I'm going to take away from A Better Way, is my understanding of the Bible and the understanding of the Lord. A Better Way has given me an opportunity to connect with a person that I've always known I was, but had got lost through a bunch of mess in my life. It brought me back to a childhood feeling of that butterfly feeling of the Lord when you know that He's touched something in your life, and the reconstruction of your family. And my brother and my father, we had lost my mom right before I came into A Better Way, and when that happened, our family kind of split a little bit. Not really split for any reason, but everybody was hurt. I was going through some issues. There was a lot of things happening, and the better I got and the more the Lord touched me in my life and the more the Lord spoke to me, the closer my family got back together.